I'll never get to a point where I'm over what happened to her.
Tamika Palmer says she will mark the 1-year anniversary of her daughter Breonna Taylor's death by attending a rally Saturday to remind people justice has not been served.
It's been a year for people, but every day's been March the 13th for me still.
Every day.
Every day.
March 13th, 2020, the day Taylor was killed during a botched police raid at her apartment.
It'll always be that sense of anger because you know that she should be here.
None of the officers who raided Taylor's apartment have been charged in her death. Instead, a grand jury brought charges of felony wanton endangerment against one of them, Brett Hankinson, for firing through Taylor's wall into a neighboring apartment. The state's attorney general defended the officers' actions, saying they were justified because Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, fired at the officers first that night.
The male was holding a gun, arms extended, in a shooting stance.
Walker argued he fired in self-defense, thinking someone was trying to break in. He says the officers never identified themselves, but the officers say they did. Just this week, a Kentucky judge permanently dismissed charges against Walker, who was initially accused of attempted murder for shooting at the officers.
He's just supposed to say thank you and walk away? No, that there has to be a consequence. There has to be accountability.
Accountability is key not only to people like Walker and Tamika Palmer,
and they box us in,
but to thousands of demonstrators such as Pastor Timothy Finley, who protested over the past year calling for police reforms in the wake of Taylor's death and the deaths of other African Americans at the hands of police.
When we think about March 13th now, it's Breonna Taylor not just remembering her name, but it's really become a rally call for justice in our city, justice in our state.
Last year, the city of Louisville paid Taylor's family $12 million in a civil settlement and passed Breonna's Law, which bans no-knock warrants and mandates the use of body cameras during searches. And the city's mayor says there has been a top-to-bottom review of the Louisville Metro Police Department.
There's a lot to do. We have done a lot. But we're going to keep working at this.
But it's still not enough for Palmer. With no officers charged in her daughter's death, she says justice is something that still eludes her. With the help of her attorney, she penned an open letter to President Joe Biden in the Washington Post, asking his administration to enact national policies to hold police accountable.
I guess I'm hopeful because we're at a point of reckoning where if we don't fix it, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
She's more hopeful than me.
And why is that?
It's a trust thing. Like, at this point, I don't trust them.
Jason Carroll, CNN, Louisville, Kentucky.